MAP4C day 16. Today's 3-minute review is one of these hard problems from yesterday, and it's going to serve as a introduction for today's stuff, which is using spreadsheets to solve these problems. So we've got Ferd is making a fenced area for his pet mongoose. He's leaving a 1 meter space for a gate, and one side of the pen is against the wall. Ferd has 40 meters of fence. What's the maximum area Ferd can enclose? So it's not one of these ones where we know the area is, or the shape is a square. So we're kind of stuck a little bit. And it's not one we saw yesterday that when it's up against the wall, if this is half the length, then that's the best. This isn't quite right because we got this extra 1 meter. So we're kind of stuck a little bit, but what we'll do is we'll set up a table. And we call this the length, where we'll just figure it out. We want to find out the best length times width, the best area. So I'm going to set up a table. And we'll see we'll get a little bit stuck here, but that's, that will get unstuck once we get to the spreadsheet stuff. So the idea here is we pick a value of W, and we decide a small value to start with, and we go up by the same amount, and we look for the best area over here with a little thought into what the length has to be. So for instance, I might start at 5 meters. This is 5, knowing that that's not the, this is 5, knowing that that's not the best, but I can figure out what the length is and start going from there. So if we have 40 meters of fence in total, we've got 5 there and 5 there, so we subtract that off. 2 times 5. 40 subtract 10 is 30, and so I can see then add this 1 in the middle, the length's 31. And this area is 155. And then I'm going to go up, and I'm going to go up by 5 just because I don't want this table to be huge. And so another calculation here, 40 subtract 2 times 10 means I got 20 left over for the length. 20 left over for the length plus 1. The length's 21 here. Multiply there, that's 210. And if I keep going, notice I'm going to run out of good answers here soon. 40 subtract 2 times 15. 4 subtract 15, that's supposed to say 15, is 10, right? This is 30, 10. Plus 1, that means the length is 11, and already this isn't as good as the one in the middle. So just if we filled in this table, our answer would be this one, right? We'd say that this is the answer, that's the best area if this is 10 and this is 21, and that's pretty close to this idea of the width being half of the side that's parallel to the house or the barn or whatever. But we're also kind of worried or wondering, what if we missed a best answer in here somewhere? Maybe we should have went up by 2s, or maybe we should have went up by 1s. And this length was easy to calculate once we decided what the width was. And that's the idea of the spreadsheet. Spreadsheet, we can, do lots of calculations quickly that we know aren't the best answer in order to find the best answer as one of these values in the table. And that's what today's stuff is all about. So I'm going to leave you hanging as far as the 3-minute review. I suppose you could say that's the answer. But I'm going to introduce the lesson, and then you're going to be working in class most of the time on the spreadsheets. The expectations use various tools, including spreadsheets, to determine optimal shapes for 2 dimensions. And there's a setup sentence. There are questions like ones last day in the 3-minute review become difficult because we don't know what shape will give the best answer. And even worse, in a table, we might miss the best answer. And so the idea in a spreadsheet, it does the calculations, and these calculations were repetitive, weren't they? All this stuff is repetitive. It does the calculations quickly, and it does more of the calculations. So I'm going to show you how this will go, and then walk you through what you're expected to do today in class. So here's a spreadsheet, and this is Open Office. And the idea is I basically set up the same sort of thing as we did in the 3-minute review, where we have a table, the width and length, an area, and I know how to calculate this, right? And instead of starting at 5 and then calculating the length, I'm going to start really, really small and just go up by little bits. Instead of going up by 5, I'm going to go up by little bits so I make sure I don't miss the best answer. Now the length, how do we get the length? Well, spreadsheet formula start with an equal sign. It was 40, which was the length of the fence that we needed, and we subtracted 2 of the widths. Now, one of the things in spreadsheets is we don't actually put that number in. We put the cell value. The cell value is A2. A2, it's kind of like Battleship. It'll look up what's in that cell. And then the length, we had to add 1 for the gate, and then that calculates what the length is. And notice that this is silly. 10 centimeters wide and 40 centimeters long. Doesn't make much sense with bad pen, but this is how we're going to get started. And again, the area, we don't want to go 0.1 times 40.8. We want to put in A2 times B2, and then it'll do the calculations for us automatically. And then the next one, I'm just going to go up a little bit from the first one. And again, I'm going to use a formula so that the calculator or the spreadsheet will do it quickly. So I'm going to say whatever was in A2, add a little bit. And the little bit, I'm going to go up by 0.1 each time instead of by 5. All right? Okay. So, well, I never did these calculations. Well, we have to ask it to do those calculations. See, and it adjusted it. Notice that it adjusted the formula automatically. And it makes sense that this area is a little bit better. And now the idea is once we've got the formulas going, we got the formulas going that says add a little bit to the last line and recalculate the length in the area, we can do what's called filling down. Now, I need to select the formulas. Notice I'm doing the second line. Select the formulas that I want by clicking and dragging. You see this little box? Click on it and drag down. And I notice that the area is still going up, so I'm going to want to keep going. I'm going to keep going for a whole bunch. I'm going to just drag down a whole bunch. Maybe that's enough, who knows. Yeah, it looks like the best, I'm looking for the biggest number. Remember? Biggest number, we thought it was going to be around 10. There's the one that we calculated in the 3-minute review, and yes, we get areas that are a little bit bigger. And so then our answer is the width should be 10.2 or 10.3, and the length would be 20.6 to give a maximum. The maximum area is 210.12. And you see how much faster the spreadsheet is than having to use our calculator. Now, what am I expecting you to do today is essentially you're not going to need to put in those formulas themselves. And this is exactly what we did. We've put the first column in with the formulas, and then we put the second row in, and then we filled down. Okay, now essentially what you're going to have to do is follow the steps from the textbook. Now to get going on the textbook, that's what I want to show you as well, is how you should do this. Notice that it says all files are found on the shared drive. And that's true for most of the computer stuff we do, that it's all in that directory, and I'm going to show you where to go. The best way to do it is to open the spreadsheet first, and I'm going to get rid of this just so we're starting from scratch. So open this spreadsheet first, whether it's Open Office or some other spreadsheet that you're fond of, and then open this file, and I'm going to show you how that looks. This is the computer I'm using now. It might look different for you wherever you're working in the lab or on a netbook, but you're looking for Open Office. On mine, it's right on the desktop. For yours, you might have to go into one of these programs and just look for Open Office, or it might be in your big box of programs that are there when you log in. Start that up. It'll take a second to boot up, and Open Office has got all these programs. We want the spreadsheet. Okay. And then there's the blank spreadsheet. But if you want to use the files on the computer, File, Open, and then you got to go to My Computer and the shared drive and SNS, that's new this year, isn't it? And then students, you won't have the staff one. And then you got to scroll down to Rest All. Our files are MAP4C, and I think the one that we're starting to begin with on page, forget what page it was, page 97, is the area optimization. You just open that, and it's got a little bit of the work done for you. I'm hoping that'll boot up. Yeah, there it is. And notice it's got some of the formulas already put in there for you. You just need to adjust it. You need to know what's going on here to adjust it. We see they're going up by 0.5s instead of 0.1s. And now you go to the textbook and follow their instructions. All right, have fun. I'll help you.